Record. There we go. Right. Let's go, guys. Right. I'm going to ignore the chat and then we're going to have a look at obviously what has happened recently. Let's go through a couple of the trades from this morning. So we had obviously Swiss JPY. I'm just going to pull this down to another 30-minute time frame. Obviously, our stop loss wasn't here. I was just playing around with afterwards. Our stop loss was actually 20 pips, which was here. And unfortunately, one of those things tapped our stop loss, then off we went. So I might extend them a little bit more to 30 pips. And for example, that one we would have been absolutely fine. We would have taken some profit off the table here. Euro was exactly the same, had a 20 pip stop loss. If we'd have just upped it to 30 pips, we'd have been okay. However, all right. However, it worked out very, very nicely because obviously Euro USD got caught this lovely move here. This move was very, very nice. Caught that was like 27 bits. Kind of eradicated it. I decided to close out and then start again this afternoon. So let's now start again. And let's obviously look into what we are looking at here. So very, very quickly, before obviously anything else happens, obviously the dollar, we were speaking about this level here this morning. All right, DXY, refer to it, every pair revolves around it. So it's very, very important. Now, if dollar breaks, we could see a bit of a continuation. Gold has recovered for the day, obviously still climbing high, still, flying. But obviously, we've had a bit of a pullback here, as you can see, during Asia. Sorry, it had a pump during Asia, pullback during London. Are we going to see this continuation? I can't see this stopping because of the new renewed tariff threats that are coming in between China, and yeah, I just can't see it, stopping it. Any pullback is a blessing. I think I read some crazy thing. Let me try and find it here actually. Not here, it was here. Here we go. So, gold is 50% up this year. All right, and it's the highest it's been since 1979. The obviously, most growth in a year, so it's very, very interesting. We've obviously got Jerome Powell. He's going to retaliate against Donald Trump. You can guarantee that he's going to blame that, nothing's been agreed. It's, upsetting the markets, blah, blah, blah. Their spat continues. I do think this will continue to flow. Yields obviously did make a little bit of a pullback, or they are, making a bit of a pullback right now, but let's wait and see. These could continue lower. The stock market's being hit quite hard. So we need to be aware of that. Look at that. Open there Friday, boom, and then we're obviously getting this continuation here across everything. So Donald Trump must have some plan, but at the moment, I know dollars holding pretty strong, but yeah, this is the level that we need to watch out for here. So I'm going to give a couple of scenarios today. All right, we'll obviously grade our pairs in a minute, but obviously I want to give a couple of scenarios. But this is my important area here. All right, this is one that we need to monitor. Is this going to hold and are we going to continue to 99,500, or is this going to break and we're going to continue to 99? So let's grade some pairs up, and then obviously we can have a little look at what my projected outlook is, why, how, and where. So let's have a look here. So again, we've got Swiss at the top, we got US dollar. We'll just do this quickly and then we'll obviously check through. Obviously, all I do, because obviously I've got all my currency pairs here, then it's very, very easy and quick for me just to get a rough idea of what's going through here. So GBP, and then we've got obviously NZD, and then we then have got AUD, and then we got yen, because sorry, we got yen at the top. I did this morning. It's confusing me because yen's not normally at the top. So strongest pair, yen, Swiss, US dollar, very, very similar to this morning, pound. NZD and AUD. So Euro's pretty much up there, which is quite interesting. So if I was to look at, say, for example, a Euro CAD, stronger Euro NZD, this might be one that we might be potentially looking at here. All right, so let's just have a little look about what's been happening. We've had this drive. I'm just going to get rid of this London one here and probably this as well because it's just messing up my view here. So, we've obviously had this drive here, this overall, drive, little pull back here. All right, but obviously we are getting rejections from this area here, which would be the New York opening range too. So this might, tell us that there could potentially be a test at least into this high here. So something like this. Now let's go down a little bit more of a time frame here. I mean, it's not a massive trade. We could probably go for 40. Let's go for 60 pips. Let's go for a new high, and we're going to do our new 30 pip take profit for this afternoon. Obviously, we've got Euro pretty strong. We got NZD. So what are we waiting for here? Okay, this one's going to be a little bit tricky. We've obviously had three rejections already. I'd like to see this candle engulf here and then retest, So I'd like to see if I was to mark it out, I'd like to see this here engulf and then retest. That would be my kind of scenario here. I'd like to see something like this happen, and then we can escape into the all-time high area. So let's just leave this one marked up. We then got Euro CAD, which is strong. It's moving. If we look at this on a 30-minute time frame, look at the overall picture here. Yeah, I probably would hold off on this one. I don't particularly, like it. We've obviously got this was obviously Asian high here. London pretty much traded inside Asia. Obviously got little bit of consolidation here, but obviously let's wait and see. I think yeah, I probably wouldn't even look to enter that pound. I'm not really interested in because it's been relatively weak. Even this, would be going against trend, so I wouldn't be interested in that. AUD, Euro. I mean, to be honest, if dollar strengthens, then we do have reason here. If we look at this on a higher time frame, we've obviously got an equal high here, which we could obviously blaze back. Let's use an arrow. We could go back all the way here, right? This is obviously holding up. Look how quickly this drove up into this area and it's pulled right the way back. Look how quickly it's driven up again, right? And we've obviously got that consolidation. This could be an alternative if we get a weaker dollar here. Let's just have a look at um, GBP AUD. Still trending to the upside, very slow, but we're looking like a little bit of a turnaround here potentially. So this would be another one. These two might be alternatives. Let's wait and see. Yen pairs, I'm not too interested in. Um, Yen Swiss is gone. Let's just have a look here. Pound, euro, US dollar. I mean, if US dollar holds, yes, this would be one here I'd be looking for. We've obviously got all this area here. If we do engulf, if US dollar strengthens, then we're going to be looking to take this up to this area here. So let's wait and see. Going to have a little bit below something like this, and then we would want to see this push up, down, and then up to this area. But obviously, I'm reserved because yen was very, very strong. Plus, we've been caught twice on yen. Gold. Obviously, we're hitting this Asian low at the moment. Now, you guys know Asia is very, very important, but obviously, technically on a lower time frame, we've got this trend, but I wouldn't like to be the person to sell it. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, this is a great place to enter. Even if you wanted to go even to something like this, but obviously you just got to be aware that we do have London low here, so it's going to be one or the other, in my opinion. Here, we will come up and test these highs, but it's going to be one or the other here, in regards to what is actually going to happen here. Are we going to do it on Asia or are we going to do it on London? So I probably would hold off on these. NZD has gone. USD Swiss has gone. I mean, AUD should technically strengthen if we get a weaker US dollar. Let's just have a look where it is right now. Yep. See, now this is our trigger here. All right, we've broken through. That's gonna spur on that's gonna spur on Euro AUD potentially and GBP AUD. Probably prefer GBP AUD here. Taking it down to this level here. Nice level, 30 pips. I do like this trade here. So that would be one. And then obviously we'd want to utilize the stronger pairs, which is going to be Swiss, which is going to be yen. All right, yen could do the complete opposite, but I don't really want to. So let's wait and see. Euro obviously starting to pump. Swiss has obviously gone. So let's just monitor the dollar a little bit more. But obviously we do need this to close below, and then we could see a nice continuation to the downside here, which is going to push GBP AUD down and Euro AUD too. I'm gonna Euro AUD would be from this level here, pretty much where they are right now. If you wanted to push this one a little bit further, you could, and then potentially have a nice probably stop loss about here. So I do like both of these, probably preferably GBP because it's a little bit weaker overall. So I'm actually going to enter this right now. So let's enter this one here, GBP. Okay, we are in. Now, what we're obviously doing here, yes, sort of obviously Aussie is one of the weakest pairs, if not the weakest pair, but you've obviously got to look at the overall daily range of everything. Can Aussie keep dumping the way it is? And would you want to, if we've got a weaker dollar, obviously pound is going to be a better bet than euro because obviously, like we've explained here, pound is at the bottom. Euro is going to climb a little bit higher as well as Aussie and NZD here. If we can get this continued weakness, then yeah, we should see obviously this tail off to the downside. So that would not be one. I'm just going to post this in the group so everybody can have an opportunity. GBP AUD. Oh, I need to get that there. There we go. I also will put that gold trade in for everybody. I know that everyone loves a bit of gold. I'd always advise as a beginner to stay away from gold, but it seems to be the pair which everybody loves to trade, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, so I'm going to put this as a high risk because I'm not going to take it personally because I don't like trading gold, but it does line up with some of our New York hell zone. So high risk gold trade setup. So that's that one. What else do we want to do? So yeah, you're at AED. I will put it in, but obviously this is one I'd probably rather take GBP AED, but I wouldn't be against taking this. But obviously we're going to put that in. So that's that one there. Euro AUD. There we go. Right? So that's those dollar related pairs. We've obviously got to look at what there is. We've obviously had USD CAD is one that we've obviously had there's a lot of confluences here to take it. However, we obviously might have missed the actual entry, but this would be brilliant, and obviously I'll explain to you guys why it's not a massive trade either. Right, we've obviously got on the 15 minute. Let's have a look on the 30 minute. Yeah, technically 30 minute. We've got a nice head and shoulders hit here. We've obviously had a nice engulfing candle after the US Open. So, you can see how US Open is going to drive in traffic to the upside here and then engulfed and then reverse pretty much, straight away. So, we could see USD CAD, strengthen up. I can't see how Jerome Powell is going to instill confidence here. So let's add this one into the equation too, and that'll be our last trade entry idea. We're going to go against the US dollar, all right, because we don't like it this afternoon. But no, there's basically what's basically missing out, right now, all right, is the news. All right. So as you can see, everything is anticipation, expectation, what's going to happen, so there's nothing really to drive it. Yes, this speech will change things, slightly, but they're because obviously the Federal Reserve is in a bit of a blackout, until obviously everything's agreed. There is there's no hard data to drive anything. All right. So you've got to understand it. And this proves that, it's data which drives prices into a certain direction, So we obviously need to be aware of that. I probably would raise USD CAD stops a little bit higher for everyone, probably about here. But yeah, it's hard data which is going to drive markets in a particular direction. We don't have that at the moment because all the data's being cancelled. So it's just purely expectation. And I wonder on a flip side, does Donald Trump, know this? And, is he using this to his advantage? Does he really care if he agrees? He doesn't get on with the Federal Reserve anyway. They're not playing ball with him. So is he that bothered about, having this data coming out, or would he rather control the narrative himself? That's one thing that we've all got to kind of, think about. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all? Anything you want me to look at? I'm obviously more than happy to look at anything you would like. So have a look at Euro, GBP. I do like this. Um, we put gold in and we put USD CAD in as well. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, we'll end it here. I probably will go live. I'm probably going to do a live tomorrow evening. So get all your questions ready. We'll obviously open it all up, and we'll go through it. Ola's put GBP JPY. What would you like to look at on GBP JPY, or do you just want an overall view of how we can look at it? Well, we obviously know that yen is going to be strong. All right. What we've also got to look at is, say on a 30 minute, where could price drive up into? All right. And even without drawing Fibonacci on, you'd probably want price to come up into this area here. Yeah. All right. Then we can put our Fibonacci tool on. And you can kind of see even without drawing it on, you don't even need it. But this is where majority of price is was kind of bulking up, which means that this is an important area here. And obviously, once it breaks, price obviously broke. Once it broke through, it continued. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it like this, yes, you would have an expectation for this to drive up into this area if trend is going to continue to then drive down. Will this happen? I do not know, but obviously that would be the expectation. What are the levels to kind of watch out for? We know that once this level's broken, it's pretty clear, right up until this area here. All right, so this area here is pretty key. If you're looking to buy, which is against trend, then obviously you would want this to break, and then obviously become support and then continue. However, what we might see happen, I don't know if there's going to be enough news to break this. I think we're going to see something like this on all the pairs, like we did pretty much this morning. So I could be wrong, but this area here or this level here that's currently acting as resistance would be the key area which I'd be looking for to take a trade on. So yeah, usually you trade the top three with the bottom three. So why did you choose USD CAD? What's your thought process behind it? Okay, let me go on to these. So we've got USD CAD. Yep, very, very kind, kind of similar to taking GBP AUD here. All right, well, one of the main things is we're obviously monitoring this level here, and obviously we've broken through. All right, so that's gonna strengthen up CAD, which is obviously what is happening here. So we've also, I just like how clean it is, and obviously the reasons why you're gonna take a trade. We've obviously got a nice head and shoulders here. It's reacting perfectly. We've broken out of the US opening range. We're obviously trading below the volume indicator. So just currently approaching this Asian high. I'm not saying we're going to continue because price has been very, very slow moving up here, but I am, saying that yes, I do think if dollar is going to weaken, then that is overall going to, strengthen the commodity-based pairs, which is your CAD, your NZD, your AUD, and Swiss. So yeah. Um, that's why. So yeah, right. I'm gonna hold it off here, guys. I will obviously, yeah. Let's make sure we, stay steady and obviously understand. And yeah, I'm gonna do a big live tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do it on routine and goals because I really, really want everyone to, set up some some good realistic goals and obviously have something to work towards because I do feel in trading I think it's overlooked. We all think of this magical goal, this magical picture, and realistically if you've got some achievable goals to target and you're obviously happy and we've made a plan together, a routine together, then obviously yes, we're going to do very, very well. So yeah, I'll yeah keep you guys updated throughout the afternoon. Hopefully, you guys have been able to watch the video that I posted earlier on the Golden Zone. That's going to help a lot of people. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Oh, let me do a quick Instagram. Uh, what am I trying to say? Story. So everyone put thumbs up in the house. That's it. Appreciate you guys. There we go. We're trying to do things properly here. Right. Have a good one, everyone. And yeah, I'll be checking in with you guys in a bit.